1932. Elizabeth, as well as Elizabeth Taylor, Jim Barry, Jim Fix, Jim Neighbors, Johnny Cash was born that same year. Meadowlark Lemon, the Harlem Globetrotter, was born in 1932 as well. Richard Dawson, Dave Thomas, famous for Wendy's Burgers, and Roy Schneider. And the birth we celebrate today took place on March 8, 1932 in Port Townsend, Washington. And life would never be the same for the Deakin family and for us. Bill passed from our world on August 19th of this year. He joined siblings Don and Barbara. Bill is also survived by his brother Chuck, and had another brother Frank, who has also passed, and his loving and much loved wife of 65 years, Madeline. That's a lot to give up, ladies and gentlemen, to give up your buddy of 65 years. That is a huge, huge loss. Together they brought into our world and raised 4 children. Shauna Deakin, she gave birth to Jeremy, Anthony, Christina, William, Alexandra, Elizabeth, Virginia, Jason, and Terrace. Did I get them all? I mean, that is a lot of children as well. And those children also provided Grandma and Grandpa 8 grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Also a daughter, Sandra Hill. Her children were Dennis, Casey, and Kirby. And they also produced 1 great-grandchild for Mom. Son Steve, his children Stephanie, Ryan, and they produced 9 great-grandchildren for Mom and Dad. And Gary, his children Bryce, Brianna, I'm gonna mess up the pronunciations, I know that. Yasuki, is that close?
Yosuke.
Yosuke, and Chitose. And together they also produced 7 great-grandchildren from Mom and Dad. Like so many of his generation, life was a little more than challenging as our nation and the world weathered the Great Depression. To make sure there was enough food on the table, the family had a large vegetable garden. Since Bill's parents had divorced, his grandparents helped raise Bill and his brothers and sisters. His grandmother loved cats, and that rubbed off on Bill. Bill loved animals, all types of animals, raccoons, deer, birds, etc. In fact, at one point, Steve was telling us, when a little kitty fell into the farm animal manure lagoon, Bill didn't hesitate to jump into the stuff and rescue the kitty. Of course, Bill wasn't allowed back into the house for several days, and when he did, he needed to stay upwind. As a child, Bill enjoyed a wide variety of athletic activities: football, baseball, basketball. During that season, this is hard to believe, students actually drove the school buses. Excuse me. Although an average student, he was an honor student in life. Bill loved to read and was constantly expanding his world and life views. Madeline had a friend who worked in a telephone company, and Madeline was going on a date with her best friend. When Madeline showed up, Bill was unbuttoning his shirt. She thought Bill was conceited and needed to be taught a lesson. And just to prove that men and women think differently, Bill thought that Madeline was the one for him. And for the first time in modern history, the guy was right and the girl was wrong. And she taught him lessons for 65 years after that. They were married in Sequim on December 22nd, 1956. By the way, Bill worked for the telephone company for many years before retiring. Bill was not someone to sit around twiddling his thumbs. Besides being an avid reader, he also enjoyed polishing rocks, developing film, and gardening. Bill loved nature. He loved to go camping. And Bill loved his country and was proud of his time and service in the Navy during the Korean conflict. It seems to have been a trait that rubbed off on his family, as several have also served in the Marines, Army, and Air Force. I asked the family to give me some one-word descriptions describing Bill. Those words included kind, loving, open-minded, independent. Anyone have another word or two that you would add to that list?
Integrity.
Integrity.
Generous.
Generous. Okay, good.
Warm.
Warm. Yeah. He was also a deep thinker, knew his Bible, a critical thinker, played chess, and he was a sounding board. I asked the family what they were going to miss. Gary said, "I'll miss our conversations. As a little guy, I would sit between the armrest and Dad, and he'd read to me. He taught me to pay yourself first and save for a rainy day. He also told me that if you don't need it, don't buy it." That's pretty good advice. Shauna said, "I won't get to write those personalized birthday letters. Dad always encouraged me. I got to play in the woods. At 8 years of age, Dad even let me mow the lawn." Steve says, "I'll miss his smiles and hugs and having him tell me that he loved me. Dad was my role model." Kate said, "I'll miss how he educated you in life. I loved his sense of humor." And Madeline says, "I'll miss his encouraging me, telling me that I can do it. I'll miss his touch and not having him hug me anymore." Bill will be sadly missed by those who loved him and those he loved. Bill leaves us all with fun-filled memories and most of all, his joyful smile. We wish Bill well on his journey to the spirit world. And so we come to remember and celebrate the life of William Walter Deakin, friend, brother, dad, granddad, great-granddad, and husband. We are now privileged and honored to have the Navy Honor Guard present the colors.
Honor guard. Post.
States President, the United States Navy, and our grateful nation. Please accept this flag as a symbol for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
I don't know if you watched it or not, but I watched the ceremonies of the Queen. We moved from Buckingham Palace to Westminster, and also all that pomp and circumstance. But that wasn't nearly as powerful as what we just witnessed. That's what we just witnessed. We want to take a few moments for family and friends to share some of their memories with each other, with the family as well. And I don't know which of you all wants to go first, but I know that Kate and Shauna and I think Steve have some things that they would like to share.